how Trump's new tariffs are driving up prices for Pennsylvania businesses, families. Brace yourself. Grocery bills across Pennsylvania could soon surge, and for many, the sticker shock is just beginning. This week marks a turning point as President Donald Trump's escalating trade battle ushers in new tariffs that will directly impact nearly every major global trading partner. But here's where the debate heats up. Businesses and families alike are bracing for price hikes on everyday essentials, and not everyone agrees on whether these tariffs will help or hurt in the long run. From now on, import duties are set at a minimum of 10% for all countries, with some tariffs climbing as high as 40% or more. Major companies like Hershey and Procter Gamble, both rooted in Pennsylvania, have sounded the alarm, warning customers that they'll soon be paying more for their favorite products. A recent poll reveals what many are already feeling. Rising grocery costs are a top source of anxiety for Americans. And with yet another round of tariffs about to roll out, those numbers look set to climb even higher. Families gearing up for back-to-school shopping and small business owners trying to survive are expected to feel the pressure most acutely. Take Nicola Bell, for example. As a mother of 4 and a South Philadelphia entrepreneur specializing in imported crystals and minerals, she's no stranger to tightening the family budget. You can't get the grocery bill under $300, and that's just for basics, she shared. The added costs of back-to-school supplies, uniforms, bags, and classroom materials only add to the burden. Her store, Surrey Hills Stones, primarily imports products from Brazil, which are now hit with heavy tariffs, a baseline 10%, with an additional 40% stacked on top. So, does Bell plan to absorb the higher costs or pass them on to her customers? There's no other way, she admits. Few businesses operate with a 50% margin once expenses are paid. This is the part most people miss. The impact doesn't stop at wholesalers or retailers. Price increases are trickling down to the checkout aisle, affecting all of us. And it's not just groceries or crystals feeling the pinch. Large items, think furniture, home appliances, electronics, even cars, may see immediate price bumps. And for those who enjoy a glass of imported wine or spirits, be prepared for another jump next month. Kurt Goldman, who leads Bucks County's CNI Brands, a distributor specializing in imported alcohols, explains it bluntly. Everything we bring in now costs about 15% more than before. While they're trying to cushion the blow, the reality is simple. Everyone from liquor shoppers to restaurant owners and their employees will share the cost. The ripple effects are hard to ignore. As Bell points out, a downturn in her business means her family spends less locally, amplifying the drag on neighboring stores and services. It's a cycle that could touch every corner of Pennsylvania's economy. And this is where the real controversy lies. President Trump frames these new tariffs as a bold maneuver to revamp America's standing in global trade. But on the ground, business owners like Bell and Goldman remain unconvinced. So far, neither sees a clear winner emerging from this policy shift. What do you think? Are these tariffs a necessary push toward fairer trade? Or are they punishing hardworking families and small businesses? Should the costs be spread more evenly, or does the price hike serve a bigger purpose? Sound off in the comments. Your perspective might just shift the conversation. How tariffs are impacting Bucks County businesses. Imagine a local business, thriving in its community, suddenly facing an unexpected challenge. This is the reality for Gamry Instruments, a Bucks County company that has been significantly impacted by global tariffs. These tariffs, imposed by the U.S. on other nations, are causing ripples in the local economy, affecting not just Gamry Instruments, but potentially many other businesses in the region. But here's where it gets controversial. While some argue that tariffs protect domestic industries, others see them as a tax on consumers, ultimately hurting businesses and their employees. Let's dive deeper into this complex issue. Gamry Instruments, based in Warminster Township, specializes in electrochemical instrumentation. Their products range from glucose sensors to systems that test corrosion properties for U.S. Navy ship hulls. These innovations are used in devices across both consumer and industrial markets. Co-founder Max Yaffe highlights that their products are purchased by a diverse range of clients, including businesses, governments, healthcare providers, and research universities worldwide. So what exactly is a tariff? Simply put, a tariff is a fee imposed by a country on imported goods and services. The primary goals are to increase the price of foreign products or generate government revenue. Many economists view tariffs as taxes on consumers, who ultimately bear the cost passed on by businesses. This means that when tariffs increase, so do the prices of goods and services for everyday consumers. Gamry Instruments employs around 65 people and has offices in China and Italy. They work with numerous vendors across the country and the world. The company exports its products not only within North America, but also globally, including to China and Europe. Approximately 40% of their sales are within the U.S., with the remaining 60% coming from international markets. While the company hasn't had to make major cuts due to the tariffs, business has slowed and some costs have increased. Yaffe and Greg Martinchek, the company president, report that sales have dropped by 30%, and they anticipate things will get worse. Chris Beasley, the firm's sales and marketing director, noted that operations in China have been paused due to tariffs. "It's gone overnight because of the tariffs," Beasley said, emphasizing the sudden and severe impact. The challenge, as Beasley explains, is that customers are turning to competitors due to the tariffs. The longer these tariffs remain in place, the harder it will be to regain lost business. And this is the part most people miss. The impact of tariffs is not just immediate, but also long-term, affecting future business prospects and market share. Gamry Instruments officials point out that Chinese and European competitors have been gaining market share in recent years, even before the tariffs. Despite much of their work being done in the U.S., Gamry Instruments imports some parts for its products from various countries. Yaffe estimates that as much as 40% of the 2,000 components in their printed circuit boards are sourced from China or other countries. Yaffe and Martinchek, who founded the company in 1989, have benefited from the region's skilled workforce. However, they voice concerns about the long-term impact of tariffs on the firm. "We have competitors all around the world, and they don't have to suffer through this," Yaffe said, noting that his concern is not about politics, but about the practical challenges faced by his business. Last month, Bucks County Commissioner Bob Harvey, a Democrat running for Congress, toured Gamry Instruments headquarters and met with its founders and staff. Harvey has spoken with other Bucks County businesses affected by tariffs and their downstream consequences. He stated that while he is not against all tariffs, he believes they can be used surgically to protect American interests. However, he warned that broad tariffs will harm businesses and residents. Despite the Trump administration's announcements of several trade deals and frameworks for deals, higher than previous tariffs remain in place with nations globally, including top trading partners and close allies, such as Canada. Trump has characterized tariffs and restrictions imposed by other countries as unfair, while believing tariff revenue will help fund the federal government budget. An analysis by the Budget Lab at Yale University estimated that the typical household will lose $2,400 in 2025 due to tariffs. The lab found that tariffs will bring in $2.2 trillion in tariff revenues from 2026 to 2035. The Census Bureau's most recent survey of 200,000 American businesses indicated companies are paying more for products and services and are increasing prices for customers. Neil Bradley, Executive Vice President at the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, recently wrote that tariffs are causing small businesses to raise prices for consumers. The White House said last week that the U.S. has brought in more than $150 billion in tariff revenue since Trump took office. As the tariff revenue comes into the government, Republican U.S. Senator Josh Hawley has proposed sending $600 to each adult and dependent child to return the money to citizens. However, some GOP senators want the money to go to paying down the country's $36 trillion and growing debt. Marketplace, a news program that covers the economy and business, reported in June that tariff revenues go to the U.S. Treasury General Fund after being collected by U.S. Customs, Border, and Protection. In addition to tariff uncertainty, Gamry Instruments has also seen business slow and orders halted due to sudden federal cuts to research at universities and colleges. Jacob Ketter, a chemist who works directly with clients, said those cuts directly impact Gamry Instruments, and he has heard similar from his customers. Staff at Gamry Instruments also shared concerns about the high cost of housing in the Philadelphia region. Harvey said he and county officials share these concerns, noting the launch of programs to assist first-time homeowners and work with people needing housing. So, what do you think? Are tariffs a necessary evil to protect domestic industries? Or are they a harmful tax on consumers that ultimately hurt businesses? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's spark a discussion on this complex issue.